So we're sitting here in Warsaw
Yeah.
with two people that evacuated, and you're right now working with an organization here to house, there's right now how many people living here?
63.
63 in this apartment area.
Yeah.
And there will be how many in total soon?
22.
200 and...
We have now 63, and today we have
22 new people?
Yeah.
So there will be 22 more.
22 more, and I think Robert said there could be even more, over
Yeah.
200.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So do you want to mention your first names? Maybe, I don't know if you want to use your last names, maybe just the first names.
Okay, so my full name is Alexandra.
Alexandra,
Yeah, and
I'm Daria.
yeah.
Daria. Okay, and you got here on the 28th, you said?
Yep.
And how did it happen that you started to work? Did it just immediately?
Yep.
How did you identify that these were going to be your employees?
These apartments that we have here were being renovated for some yuppies to rent, and work was being done by our friends from Ukraine. And they came and said, we need to quit because we're going back to fight the war. And we said, don't quit, this is your war, and you need to fix these apartments, not for yuppies anymore, but for people that will be coming here. So we, instead of proper apartments with bedroom, we knocked down the walls, or they did, set up bunk beds, and converted them into safe haven for as many people as humanly possible. So the apartments, which would normally be for 2-3 people, house 14-15 people each. We also had a non-profit foundation that was barely using an office upstairs, so we kicked them out. They vacated the premises and put bunk beds. As you can see, mattresses keep coming in. There was a delivery this morning. That's the bottleneck, bunk beds and mattresses.
That's the bottleneck. Is it a question that there's not enough supply in Poland?
A little bit, and not enough funds to buy them, because this is all privately supported by people from this company, which is a PR government relations agency, and people from upstairs who do renewable energy. So we have nothing to do with helping refugees, but these are our friends, so they're welcome here.
And is that how you guys found this address to go to, was through the employees that were renovating?
Daria's father is one of the people who was working on the renovation, so that's the connection.
And I've been here before. This summer I went to Daria's parents for vacation, and we were actually going here and cleaning the offices, like helping with that. So I knew this location before, and that was kind of nice for me as well.
And
Some of the neighbors who were here a little bit longer term, and the neighbors in that part of the building, which is not controlled by us, and that's city occupied, so it's, let's say, affordable housing folks.
Okay.
They had a bit of an issue at first, and we had to talk some sense to them. I don't mean terrorize,
Right.
just talk sense.
And thank you very much for taking time to speak. You said that you're from near Kyiv, both of you. How many kilometers or miles, roughly?
I don't know. Something, no.
Like 100 or
100,
something.
200.
To the south. So for whoever's watching this, if they're wondering if your family is safe, you said that your family over there is safe,
For now, yes.
but they can begin to hear the shelling in the bottom.
Yeah.
We also have another facility which is on the outskirts of Warsaw, in a town called Ząbki, which is the first suburb past Praga. We have, let's say, a motel there.
Okay.
In Polish, it's hotel pracowniczy.
Right, like a hostel for workers.
It's like a hostel for workers. So that place right now is housing 20-some people, 24, but it has capacity up to about 100. But the idea is, and we'll talk, first you talk to the girls,
Okay.
because they have busy schedules,
Okay.
then I'll walk you through what's on the wall.
Okay. Why don't you tell us what's, we already agreed that there are things that are not appearing in the news. Are the things that are not appearing in the news, do you want to describe some of them? Or should some of them not be in the news? Other than military secrets, what is not appearing in the news that you think should be talked about?
And if you want me to leave, I will leave.
Oh, it's okay. Probably how people suffer there, and because I can't get in contact with my friends for 2 weeks already, because I was studying in Kharkiv, and they're on that part of Ukraine, and it's a disaster. It's a complete disaster right there, and I can't just call them. I'm trying to call to them from all the social media. I try to text them. I try to call them from my Polish number, and I can't just reach to them, and I don't know what's going on with them.
This is very interesting because the impression in the Western media is that Starlink is working. It's apparently not in Eastern Ukraine. Two, we've actually been amazed that there are any cell phone images coming. For the fact that we have images at all from Mariupol, for example. But you're saying no, that there are plenty of parts of Ukraine that are right now.
Some of them, some people, they're not afraid of, walking out and taking pictures and doing things like that.
Yeah.
Some people, they are like hiding, and they are in in shelters. So because of that, the shelters on the underground, in the bunkers, and when all the explosions start, so all the building that was up on this bunker, it would fall
And trap them.
Yes.
So you might have friends that are trapped.
Yes. Some friends are trapped. Some friends just they don't communicate. I have one friend from Mariupol. He's there right now, and what he said, they don't have gas, they don't have electricity, they don't have everything. Nothing. They have nothing. Literally.
How did you communicate with them?
So his mom called him, and there was only 2 minutes that she could talk to him, and that's how we know it.
Okay.
And he said that they make fire, the fire to prepare food and things like that. So for that in Mariupol, the situation is really complicated. In Kharkiv as well, and it's way colder there right now, and there are some how to say possibilities for people to freeze, especially when they're trapped, because they can't leave the bunker because they're trapped.
What else is not in the news? So first of all, the situation is much worse than we might realize. There's much more of the country that's cut off.
Yes.
What else is not in the media that you think should be in the media?
How regular civilians suffer, because the kids are dying, and it's only the Russian military. They're not only shooting on military and army. They are shooting regular citizens, and kids are dying. It's 71 kid. Is it 71 children? They are dead. For now, for this moment,
That we know of, yeah.
And it's actually a disaster, just because regular civilians they are suffering. The Russia is talking about the operation and something like this, but they are killing civilians. And
So questions about your work here, because you have about 40 minutes. You said it's probably more like 25 minutes left. What will you be doing? What does your day look like here?
Mogę po polsku, tak?
Tak, można po polsku.
Bo ja wyjeżdżam z panią do lekarza, bo tłumaczę, bo on rozmawiam po ukraińsku i tak jak ktoś potrzebuje pomocy lekarskiej, to ja wyjeżdżam i staram się tłumaczyć.
So you translate Polish to Ukrainian to Polish for Polish doctors and nurses to help Ukrainians that are here.
Tak.
So you translate. What else do you guys do? It looks like you have something to write on. What kind of work are you doing for Robert here?
so we're trying to organize all the work because it's a lot of people, and we need to organize the work so everyone will take part in it, because we want Ukrainians to be engaged, because it's we tell them that Polish people are helping for us, and we have to show them that we are engaged as well. So because of that, we need to organize the structure. So we have people who is responsible for products like shampoos and shower gels and things like that, and they have the track of it, so nothing will be stolen or something like this, or overused.
Logistics.
Yes, and so some people are responsible for logistics, some people are responsible for kitchen and for preparations, and some people are responsible for cleaning and things like that. and we just need to manage it. And because of that, like almost every day we have like meetings that we discuss who should do what and things like that.
No, jeszcze ja rozmawiam z Robertem, z Adamem, bo gadam po polsku, dlatego tłumaczę wszystko na ukraiński. Jak jest jakieś wskazanie z góry, to ja też to tłumaczę. No.
So this is almost like a community here.
Yeah.
Donations come in, you buy food, you buy toiletries, and as the next step, what are people doing during the day? Are they just sitting here, or are you beginning to find, for example, work, or do you have somebody who is beginning, are there children here? Is somebody teaching the children? So how's that work?
Mamy tu nauczycieli, mamy nauczycielkę języka ukraińskiego i też mamy ludzi, którzy znają język polski i chcą też uczyć ludzi. I teraz próbujemy to wszystko załatwić, żeby zorganizować taką szkołę, po prostu, żeby uczyć tych dzieci, bo mamy takie w wieku z 9 do 17 lat dużo dzieciaków i mamy takie mniejsze. Dla mniejszych też organizujemy warsztaty, to w weekend będziemy mieli, to z Robertem też tam gadałam. Co jeszcze?
Bardzo chętnie dołączyłbym.
No.
Żeby czuli, że cały świat współczuje.
Tak. Na przykład mieliśmy taką pomoc humanitarną, czyli rzeczy, które ludzie tu przynosili. Teraz mamy w workach, może pan tam zobaczył.
Bywa.
Tak, mamy takie zestawy dla dzieci, na przykład, że jest taki wiek, ile lat, jaki rozmiar i to jest zestaw taki secik taki, to jest kurtka, takie ciepłe jakieś ubrania, to mamy wszystko posortowane, no teraz to jest posortowane, a wcześniej nie było posortowane.
This is so interesting. So within 2 weeks already, at the beginning, what everybody's telling me is that was chaos at the beginning, and it seems like from the local to the national level, everything is becoming more systematized.
Yeah.
So what you were just explaining, if somebody's watching this, is that now you have pre-sorted by size the clothing, so that if somebody shows up, there's the size. I have a coat, shoes, socks. And you said that there is a school being organized for both Ukrainian and Polish language. Out of the 63 people that are here, how many are grown-ups? How many are children? How many adults? How many children?
There are definitely more children than grown-ups because they're a mother with children, and some of them have 6 children or 4 or something like this. Yes. And
And the husband stayed to fight.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah. So we don't know the exact amount of children and adults because we just trying to track the amount of old people that we have.
You guys are how old?
I'm 18.
I'm 20.
How do you think your lives are going to be different now? Do you think that, I mean, what did you think you would be doing with your lives before? Until 2 weeks ago, what were you planning?
It's complicated.
Honestly, like for me, it's a bit different maybe than for Daria because I always was volunteering and doing things like that. I was doing it from like 16 years old, and when I went to the US, I was packing flood kits where you have all this like, so I know all the standards how you should pack it. I would do the shoes, like all the worn shoes. They would bring them to me, and I would pack them, like clean them, pack them, and after that we would ship them all around the world. So it would start like microeconomic in the country. So I would I was doing it from like 16.
Okay. And you did that in the United States?
I was doing it in the United States. I was volunteering in Ukraine. I was volunteering from 16 years old. So for me, it's a regular thing.
And do you think that this has made you more likely to pursue that as a full-time career now, humanitarian work?
Maybe. I always like to work with people. So for me, it's okay. For me, volunteering is like an important part of my life. And I was a tutor of English for 3 years. So I was working with kids as well. And I was working with kids in need and working with them. And so for me, that's like my regular job.
Dla mnie to nie. Chciałam otworzyć swoją kawiarnię i w ogóle moi rodzice mieszkają w Danii, wyjechali już dawno temu. W Polsce mieszkali wcześniej i ja też pojechałam na Ukrainę, bo miałam problem z zębami. Po prostu chciałam polecić te zęby i wyjechać z powrotem do Danii i pracować w Danii. No i tak się stało, że ostatni ząb zapompowałam przed wyjazdem, dzień przed wojną.
I need to translate that because that's such a crazy story. your family's lived here in Poland.
Yeah.
Now they live in Denmark.
Yeah.
You went back to Ukraine just to get your teeth fixed.
Yeah.
And the day before the invasion, you had your last tooth fixed. And then the war broke out.
Yeah. Ja musiałam wyjechać do Danii i pracować tam jako fryzjer, a potem otworzyć jakąś swoją kawiarnię.
You wanted to have a coffee shop, maybe
Yeah.
work. Okay. And
Yeah.
and now is that changed, or would you still want to go when this is over? Because eventually it has to be over.
Yeah, I think it's over.
You'll just go back to the dream of having your own coffee shop, or
No, teraz jestem potrzebna tutaj, więc jak najdłużej spróbuję zostać tu i pomagać ludziom.
okay.
A jak to wszystko jakoś mniej więcej będzie spokojniej, to bym wyjechała do Danii na pewno, bo mam tam mamę i siostrę.
Okay.
Więc...
So you'll be reunited with your family in Denmark and then see what happens. What do you think what would you like to tell people if anybody's watching this? What is the most reliable avenue for giving money? Do you believe that, for example, Robert's organization, because there's several portals now where people can give money, including the National Bank of Ukraine. To some people it's confusing. Is it better to give to the National Bank of Ukraine? Better to give to private charities? Do you have an opinion? I know it could be sensitive because if you endorse somebody, you're sort of suggesting that you're not endorsing another approach. But in general, it seems like a lot of the activity here, if it involves the refugees, that it's the private charities that are driving this, that it's at the grassroots, that it's not the government, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And so, Robert, what do you think? If anybody's watching this, the question was which way to give money, because from where I normally am, I saw all the calls to donate to the National Bank of Ukraine. Even there was a portal to give to the armed services of Ukraine. But from what I see on the ground here, if you want to help refugees, it's all privately grassroots driven. And so you should find a private charity.
Yeah, I mean, we have a friendly charity that's our foundation set up by Polish first responders that's helping us with healthcare and also with fundraising.
Okay.
And we will need funds for just about everything. I mean, the electricity bill will be triple what we used to pay, right?
Even before inflation.
Even before inflation. We have food coming from World Central Kitchens, a U.S.
Have you met Jose yet?
No, I have not.
Somebody said we got to interview him.
It'd be great, and this is one of the places where his food
Food comes here. Okay.
That's a big single cost item, food, because people need to eat three times a day.
Is that the biggest?
Would you imagine that? 3 times a day, a meal? I mean, it's crazy.
So
Yes,
the biggest single cost item is food. Then comes power or clothing?
Then it comes rent. Fortunately, we can control that. That's
because you own the building.
We own the building. Third is, I don't know, clothes, medicine.
Yeah.
I mean, you name it, people need that, and not everything is for free.
Yeah.
So someone has a heart condition and they need
Right.
heart medicine. We need to go to the pharmacy and buy it. I mean, we have some friendly and associated doctors and foundations that we can try to offset the cost, but none of this will be for free.
Have there been any difficult choices so far about whether to feed 20 people or provide heart medicine for one person?
No, we haven't had those choices yet.
Do you think they're coming?
I don't know. I mean, maybe on a bigger, larger scale, not to this establishment.
Not in your corner of the world. Out of all of the organizations that you've seen here or heard about, actually, is most of your attention, are you 99% focused just on your day-to-day and taking care of this community? Or do you take notice of what's going on with your friends and family in other places?
In the evening, most of the time.
In the evening you check in on other people?
Yeah.
And are they, is what you're experiencing the norm, or is this an exception? In other words, let me give you...
leave?
No. So, I'll ask the question another way. The recurring, I should actually check a few provocative things that I've heard from some people. First of all, from somebody who works in a hotel, that the parking lot for the first few days was filled with luxury cars, that the first wave of people out actually had wealth, and they were paying for the hotels full price and showing up in nice clothing. That it was only a few days later that people that looked like they were lacking showed up. And now comes waves of people that were even less prepared with less resources. Is that accurate, that the first people out are people with resources, and then as it goes on, it's poorer and poorer people?
We can say, so the first when the war started on 24th.
Yeah.
At that time, it was people who would live closer to the borders,
Okay.
and they would live,
Okay.
would leave. But some of them didn't have clothes. For example, we came on 27th, but we started to work on 28th. And I didn't have clothes with me at all, almost, because I would move from Kharkiv, because I was studying in Kharkiv, and I would see my parents in Zhytomyr for 20 minutes or 30, repack my suitcase and pack only like the smallest things, because I would walk with Daria 8 kilometers to the border, and after that we stayed 6 hours waiting for our line and waiting in line, and after that only we crossed the border.
Okay.
So I didn't had a lot of stuff with me. Like I had laptop, pair of like pants, and maybe like the warm sweater, and that's all.
Okay.
And
So
we actually did a clothes drive, and that's one of the lessons learned. Don't ever do a clothes drive
Why?
where people bring you everything.
why?
Why? Because
They bring the wrong things.
It took about 14 hours to sort it into packages
Yeah.
aimed at particular people. So right now, we're still asking for donations. Absolutely, bring clothes,
Okay.
but make them gender specific and size specific. So small male, small female, child from 8 to 10,
Pre-sort.
pre-sort, and make it A, B, C, D all the way through G, right? So clothes, socks, underwear, shirts, blouses, sweaters, pants. Just make one package, be all for that recipient.
So just like Russia screwed up logistics, and that's why their plan is
Yeah,
screwed
no,
up.
don't even compare us to Russia.
We're not making a comparison.
We're black belts at logistics here, but we still made some mistakes.
But okay. Oh, what are those mistakes?
Taking everything not sorted.
No. Okay.
Because then you need to make the people sort, and
That's a waste of
took
time.
a long time, especially if you're outside and -2, it's not pleasant. So
What are other lessons? What are other mistakes that were made that you're like, we won't do that again?
Oświadczenia, że musimy podpisać te oświadczenia z ludźmi, bo to ząbek mieliśmy ten problem, tak, z tymi kobietami, z Romami. No.
yeah, what we are trying to do here is we're trying to be a transition center. So the length of stay is up to 30 days, and then you need to move on.
So this is the other.
So what we need to do is sign a declaration, because we're completely private sector, so we can't enforce it legally to kick you out unless we sign some kind of a document saying you agree that this is a privately financed and held facility, that you're here up to 30 days, and our rules of conduct are no smoking on the premises, no drinking on premises, limited fraternization on premises, house rules.
Yeah.
Because we can't ask law enforcement to come in and help us enforce this law, because we're entirely private.
Right.
So that's one of the lessons learned, that we need to have these people sign this declaration, or then.
So even in a crisis moment, when you're doing something humanitarian, people need to appreciate contracts.
People will be people, and they will behave selfishly. I don't want to name names, but we had a group that basically, after being given clothes, warm shower, clean sheets, said, "Where's the money?" And then at the end of the stay, stole the sheets and bedding and walked away with it.
So this is the
People
question.
will be people. Let's not be surprised.
This is one of the questions I was afraid to ask. Is people are people, and people are always taking advantage of anything.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So
and also people are different, and everyone, even Ukrainians, they live in different environments, and so because of that, the same will happen with Polish people, with American. It's the same all over the world.
some will price
people-
gouge, some will.
Yes, some people will value and they will say thank you for hosting us or things like that. Thank you a lot. And some people will say, oh, I thought that we will have our own room with yes, there are only 2 of us, but we wanted our own room and our own with other things. And so because of that, there are different kinds of people. Some people think that they move to the hotel and they will be supplied with everything. And some people they
Będą want to work. To
Yes,
help,
they want to
and
work
other
to
people,
help, and they actually appreciate
That's actually one of our
things that
rules,
we
that
gave
you're
them.
supposed to be accessible for work 24/7, because we need to help these people, no doubt about it, but they
Yeah.
need to help themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's part of the deal. You know, wake me up if you need to, but
Mhm.
wake your friends up too, because,
Yeah.
you know, they're here.
I'm really grateful you guys are talking, by the way. Is there any question you think I should have asked that I haven't asked you yet? Because I know that you have to go soon, so what have I not asked you that you thought I would ask? Or I should ask? What do you want business students to know? People that are your age, 18, 19, 20. Those are my students that I just saw 2 days ago. What do you want them to know?
I would probably say, because different things can happen, and I would say to everyone, be proactive. Be that person who will make the first move, who will help, who will find the way. Even not talking about our situation, that we're refugees and we're like kind of running away from our country because of the war. But if you're taking this first step and you're trying to help others, this will come back to you, and this will make the country better. This will make the world and environment better. So that's why we are doing it, because we're trying to make environment better. And actually, the war showed us that Ukraine is united as never before,
Yeah.
and we didn't expect that. To be honest, we didn't know how to what to do. But after that, we saw that our army, everyone is united,
Mhm.
and we wanted to help, even that we are in Poland. So because of that, we're working on that, and we're actually working hard, because I can wake up Dasha at 2 a.m. Because she need to settle some people, and because they moved in, and we need to give them everything, all that they need. And I just wake her up by pushing the bed.
Wow.
So because I can't wake up, and I know that she will wake up.
Wow.
So because of that, we're working hard, and we are proactive, and we're
Okay.
trying to do our best. Even that I don't feel well, because maybe, I don't know, I'm tired or something, and I need more rest than usual, but I'm still trying to work and go to our meetings and things like that, and Daria does the same.
Okay.
So the main advice is just be proactive, because it doesn't matter where you live, just try to help others, and the world will help you in return.
Okay. I have a question in case you need to go. Would you be willing like this? I promise we can keep it as short as you want. Would you be willing on a video conference to speak with my classes, maybe in a few
No
weeks?
problem.
Okay.
Maybe
And
entertainment.
well, you will be heroes, I think, to them.
I'm starting to forget English, because here I hear only Polish language, and English is I love this language so much, because for me it's I don't
Simpler?
know, a lot of. I would say that it's my work and it's my job, because I was an English tutor, and I was working with kids, and I was teaching them English, and I would speak English 24/7, even that I was in Ukraine. And for me, I really love this language, and for me it would be a nice practice to remember everything. And
So in that case, it
problem.
would be a pleasure to invite you.
Yes.
It would thrill and delight them, and I'm happy to visit and do a class with people maybe next weekend or whenever it fits.
Okay.
Dobra, are we up on your time? Because you said 40 minutes, right?
Tak, ja już muszę iść. Tak.
Okay, to będziesz tłumaczyła. You're going to be translating now.
Tak.
Okay, and before that, maybe we should swap numbers for WhatsApp and email. Okay, good. So I'm going to stop the recording, and